So I thought that was a really interesting viewpoint that you had on 2012, and if it's true at all, then we're living in pretty exciting times.
Yes.
You know, and quite honestly, I'm quite excited about it, to tell you the truth. It's only 4 years away. So, am I right? 4 years? No, 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years actually.
Yeah.
With 2 nights, yeah.
Yeah. So, in science, we know of various dimensions, you know, and we know of this dimension because we're here, and then, of course, you talk a lot about spirit world, which I think, regardless of religion or any sort of beliefs, I mean, how could anyone not believe in the spirit world? I wonder, you know, how could you not? Do you think there are other dimensions where other things go on?
Other dimensions, I mean, besides this physical?
Besides this and besides this, you know, besides this or besides the spirit, or perhaps in the spirit world, that actually has many dimensions in itself. I don't know. You know, in science they say that I think now they're up to 12 dimensions. And obviously we live in the 3rd dimension because of, you know, I don't know if that's anything that you're really interested in or know anything about.
I think in the physical world, you know, there are many different levels, you know, intellectually and also spiritually. Many different people have different levels, you know. So even externally, there are some areas that are more peaceful, and some areas that are not so peaceful. In my experience with the spiritual world, in the spiritual world, there's different levels. Like the lowest part in the spiritual world that we call hell, I went through 3 different levels, you know, where the common criminals are, more terrible criminals, and world criminals, you know. It's actually very frightening too, to be there. So in the spiritual world, I experienced this kind of levels in the spiritual world. But also, I've been to levels of paradise. You know, it's like a mid-weight level. You know, and then down hell and also paradise. Paradise also has different levels. The first level in paradise is where conscientious people live, and all kinds of religious people who they tried to lead a good life while they were on this physical world. And then there's another level where founders of different religions are living. And the 3rd level is the most lonely. It's the highest realm in the spiritual world, because not anybody can go there.
Okay.
That place is, that's why I call lonely. But it's the most beautiful, you know. But that's where Jesus experienced. Jesus lived there, you know. But it's a lonely place, you know. So I think in the spiritual world, there's many different dimensions, and the spiritual world is so vast, you know. Like I say at the beginning, you know, this physical world was created in the image and likeness of man, just like man was created in the image and the likeness of God. So this world reflects us, you know. Like there are animals who live on water. The first period we begin in the water. Animals that live on the earth, we also live in this air environment. Animals that fly, men also fly. In the 3rd stage, once we go into the spiritual world, we can go to any part, you know, in the spiritual world, in the speed of light. Yeah. To the sun, to the moon, to Mars, to any planet that you want to go, you can travel, you know. So I don't know if that answered the question, but the spiritual world definitely has different dimensions.
Yeah, that's interesting, because NASA just released footage recently about you know, these 2 astronauts who went up into space.
Yes.
And they were recording what happened what was going on around.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely saw things, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that they couldn't explain, and it wasn't normal things that we would know of, you know what I mean?
Yes, sure.
It looked like energy more, like
Mhm.
spirit,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
something like that. So they definitely encountered that,
Mhm.
and you know, a lot of people at NASA, they do try to pass it off. Oh, it's debris from something. Oh, it's this, it's this.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's probably what they saw was spirit. And what made me think of that is when you said that when we went to spirit, well, we can go anywhere, to the sun, to the moon, to the...
Anywhere,
It's pretty
yes.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can travel.
Yeah.
Also, science recently discovered this, you know, the neutrins.
Mm.
It's like 12 different types of particles,
Okay.
but they are totally invisible, you know. So just recently, science actually cannot deny that the spiritual, invisible, substantial world is real. And actually, as a world that maintains this physical world, they talk about those neutrinos, I think, neutrinos.
Okay.
They come from the sun
Yeah.
to the earth, but also from under the earth, you know. And
Do you
just
mean-
as an example, I'm sorry.
Nutrients? Like
No,
not nutrients.
There's some particles.
Okay.
I forgot if there's neutrinos or trinos, something like that. Something with 3.
Okay.
And they talk about 12 different types.
Okay.
And 3 of them, they say,
Yeah.
you know, are the ones who bring the flavors into all the things that are created. You know, that's their mission. They carry the flavors or the perfume or the aroma,
Yeah.
you know, flavor that we find in spices or the aroma, you know, in the roses or things like that.
It's
I
incredible.
was very fascinated when I was watching this.
Yeah.
And they're invisible,
Yeah.
like particles, you know.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
definitely sounds fascinating and
Mhm.
incredible, even that
Yeah.
how God works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, ultraviolet rays. We know it exists. We can't
Yes,
see it,
we cannot see it.
but we know it exists because
Yeah.
unfortunately it hurts some people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But okay, so something that you teach
Mhm.
is you know, in this organization is something called the structure,
Mhm.
which is pretty interesting. Tell us more about the structure. What do you think about? How, you know.
The structure.
Well, I know you
sorry.
think it's good, obviously. No, but you know, tell us about the structure. Yeah.
I mean the structures of.
Oh, okay. The principles.
Oh, the principles.
The principles, and when I was in the workshop just a few days ago, they talked about the structure.
Mhm.
Perhaps something
Mhm.
around the idea of mother, father, marriage, and sort of a structure to follow.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Let me see if I understand very. I want to understand the question
Okay.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the basic principle, you know, we call the divine principle.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, according to the principle or even the Bible, if Adam and Eve will have realized, you know, the original ideal of creation, which are the 3 great blessings that God originally gave to man, you know, in that type of ideal world, there will be absolutely no need for religion, no need for prophets, no need for churches, no need for Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
Men should not have a big question mark in their heads about whether God exists or not. We meant to be one with God, you know.